Second World War, you've got large numbers of American troops remaining in Germany. For that matter, there's still several tens of thousands there today. And both black and white American soldiers had children with German women. And Flynn discovered that those children growing up in Germany showed no IQ differences at all. The black kids and the white kids, the same. Quoting intellectuals and race, Professor Flynn concluded that the reason was that the offspring of black soldiers in Germany, and now you're quoting Professor Flynn, grew up in a nation with no black subculture, close quote. Which means what? Which means they experienced exactly the same expectations. Is this the,
No, the expectations are external. The culture in which they grew up was not the culture in which black kids grew up in America today.
So they had.
There's no gangster rap that was pervasively available in Germany.
So here's what I'm getting. There is something about black subculture in America today that holds African Americans themselves back?
Yes. In fact, I went into this in a previous book on which about black rednecks and white liberals, because that same subculture.
Let's talk about two of your books here. Go ahead.
Because that very same subculture held whites in the South back as well. That in the time this mental testing in the First World War turned up, among other things, the fact that whites from various 4 or 5 southern states scored lower on the mental test than blacks from 4 or 5 northern states. And so it really was a question of the subculture that was there, which was a handicap to both.
And I read that book, and he goes on to say that we get our culture from the rednecks in the South.
Is that Ben Carson?
Mm-mm.
No, that's not him.
So he is
Who?
Thomas
Sowell.
Thomas Sowell.
If you want to see some alt-right dudes talk about how blacks are inferior and that we have no culture and shit, he gonna be one of the people they cite.
I don't know if they gave him a
What
check or something.
can we focus on the message and figure out if that was substantial or not? Because that's the second time. I think Law did it the first time. You kind of just discredit him with a
his
strong
research
opinion
was
and even
not
really.
way off though. Like I agree with you, Bruiser. Like his research is not you could take it's like almost like chew the meat, spit the bone. Some of it you can go back and find the same research, but it doesn't mean his conclusions are accurate. But I do believe that the whole redneck culture that we get it from the South, we talk like that's how we learned some of our slang, how we acted was from them, and they have poor results, and they were treated poorly by regular white people, which is why they call them, poor white trash and all of that stuff, because just the way they act and the way they are like loose, and the way the same certain things that you find in our culture, we got it from them.
Jesus fucking.
Well, that's unfortunate.
That's what he said.
Jesus Christ.
What I heard him make a statement, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong. With the Germany comparison, when the black man go and have his kids or whatever family in Germany or something, it sounded like this was a case of you can take the nigga out of the hood, but you can't take the hood out of the nigga.
That ain't what he said at all.
Well, I'm saying it kind of.
No, what he said was that these black kids in Germany somehow came out better than the black kids that would have grown up in America because they were not exposed to black culture. That's what
I listened to it, and he didn't say that. He said that the IQ showed no difference, and because the black kids in America listen to hip hop, and then I guess the guy that was interviewing him tried to make the case that the black kids that are born in Germany or whatever, and I think the professor that he was interviewing said, well, the black kids in Germany have access to the same music or the same culture.
No, that's not what he said. You misheard him.
That's why I said, correct me if I'm wrong. That's what I heard. I heard there was no difference in IQ. He didn't say that. He didn't say they had better IQ. He said it was no difference. It showed no difference.
He said there's no access to the hip hop, to the gangster rap.
I thought he said it was. I don't know what is the term pervasive. Well, he used the term pervasive. They have a pervasive.
Pervasive is like just heavily influenced.
Right.
So that means that they do. The kids, the black kids that were growing up in Germany did have access to.
No, that's not what he said at
No, he
all.
said they didn't have access to gangster rap. He was basically saying that there were no differences between the black
White
kids and white
kids and
kids
the
in
black
Germany.
kids.
Their IQs were very similar, and they were trying to say, well, they didn't have access to gangster rap to influence them into being degenerates.
So
Oh, okay. So that's why I said correct me. I must have misinterpreted that. Apologize.
the issue is the way that he wants to dismiss a wealth of other external factors that lead up to.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like the projects,
It ain't even that. Like,
like
there's a reason why they
it's a
say.
lot of different influence. The
There's a
economy,
reason why they.
The
schools.
if we reverse all of this, it all goes back to the same thing, and they stack upon each other. Let's just say we start with the we want equal education and the pro-black movement of the '60s. Moving that was moving as a collective community with ideology to be twice as good as everybody else, and move forward and create black excellence through hard work and perseverance. Then we have a COINTELPRO where those movements get disseminated, like decimated, and then drugs introduced in the midst of that chaos and despair, which funds drug addicted parents and the removal of trade schools and all these things, all to squash black uprising, which spawns a chaotic ass community. Like we've been as a community caught up in a damn game of Saw, where you face several fucked up choices to make it to the end, and sometimes you do make it all the way out, but no one without some scars. You'll remove all of that and just say, yeah, it's black culture, that's the issue. And they got that shit from white people. It's dismissive the way he tries to make these arguments.
I agree with you. I think that it's all of these things. The drugs, the conspiracies, all of these different things are the reason why the community is that way, and the music is part of the influence. But what the issue for me is that it's almost like we keep it's like almost coming out of something, but we keep reverting back. And and I think that hip hop is the glue that keeps bringing us back to that same thing. We're trying to, how we beat the crack epidemic, and now we got another one. Like, we keep going backwards with it. It is a part and it is an influence. If we can admit that, we can start moving forward. We're not saying it's everything. And I understand you don't want to put everything on black culture and my question is hip hop black culture? Like, is that one and the same, or is it separate? Is it a part? Is it a subculture? Or I don't understand how hip hop is completely black culture. That part I don't get.
Black culture is immense and it's wealthy and it's so many healthy things that are involved in black culture. People hyper focus on a subgenre of black culture, which is hip hop. Hip hop is not on all of what black culture represents. We have so many more things. It's just the most marketed thing would possibly be hip hop, but that doesn't.
Sometimes when people talk, it sounds like that's what they're doing. They're making it one and the same, but it is more complex.
And it's literally the most marketed thing to the world. It's not even the most marketed thing. We, as black folks, we hear everything. In our culture, we actually do hear everything. We do focus on all the artists. We do hear all the artists. That's the reason why people ain't even admitted that Eminem is one of the greatest rappers of all time right now, because they bring up artists from the subculture like, well, what about Twister? What about this person? What about that person? Black folks, if anything, know more about hip hop and different artists and different portions of the genre, R&B, neo soul. We hear all of that. Black folks largely listen to every aspect of black music.
But you just
hip hop
said
is only promoted outside of as a large genre. And that doesn't mean that it's a heavy.
That's the issue. The whole world only sees one little part. That's the issue. It's like, if we're talking about our image, we got to clean that up so the whole world, we know that that's not all we are, but the rest of the world think that's all we are.
So, and the thing is that fair enough. The rest of the world thinks that that's all we are.
You got to remember that black culture, my bad. I'm saying, but black culture, bro, y'all got to remember we are very well versed, right? You know what I'm saying? Anything that we do is going to be looked at as like what it is. Hip hop is a small, like you said, it's a genre of it, but R&B is just as widespread. You know what I'm saying? Across the world, when you go other places, they want to look and act like us. It's not just hip hop. And this has gone all the way back to days of before there was rap. You know what I'm saying? You look at women like Lena Horne and some of the black actresses and the black music, like rock and roll came from us. That wasn't hip hop. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to look and act like us because of what we put out. It's not just about hip hop. It's just that we like to demonize hip hop now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's in the forefront. That's what represents our era.
Law, you're right about that. But back in the day, all of it was being pushed out. We had black movies, we had black shows, we had positive things, we had Family Matters, we had all these positive things. Now all of a sudden, it's just seeing only these negative things are pushed out to the rest of the world. That's not our fault. It's not our fault, but it is what they're using. They're weaponizing us against us. That's the issue.
What?
But yeah, Ruth, but I don't think that's true. You saying like we don't have good positive images right now of black folks, and I think that's not true.
No, I'm not saying
we have films, we have music, we have movies, we have just you can find at this point you can find whatever you want, whatever type of music you want. You can find whatever type of movies that you want.
Find it, but it's pushed on like it's like an algorithm for the world. They're only getting the negative part. So we as a people, what can we do? We could put our money behind pushing out positive images of ourselves, promoting positive movies out there. We can do that if the powers that be want to keep pumping all the funds into the death culture, into the drug culture, into the sex culture. Then we need to put our money where our mouth is, or whatever how you say it, and push out those positive things.
Right, I get that, but sometimes people do want to see something. Like you have to remember some of the largest movies that we've seen about drug culture. It ain't got one black nigga in it. You know what I'm saying? Scarface ain't got no black folks in it. You feel me? Wasn't made by no black folks. Hold on. Right. But listen to what I'm saying. Like, you got to remember the largest ones, the most viewed ones that make the most money ain't about us. We get a little smidgen in there. Our people will support the 2-3 films that become legendary. But we still a minority in this country. So you have to also look at the ones that they put out, like Goodfellas, Casino. You know what I'm saying? You can have 1,000 movies about Italian gangsters and nobody cares, right? But then let one nigga bring out a movie about boys in the hood, and now we ruining the earth. Come on, man. Let's be real.
I don't think that. I think you were trying to get it like this is what we like this is our taste. But what I'm saying is, if you're a young kid and your mom fed you chips and garbage and bad food and junk food and never gave you any kind of healthy food, when you grow up, that's what you have. And so that's where our culture is. It's like you're talking about this. Can I finish?
Go ahead.
Been fed negativity. So this is what we like to eat. But you can grow up and be vegan. You can grow up and be pescatarian. You can choose when you get older. Like, you know what? Maybe we should evolve and say, you know what? Yeah, we got this little part, but that's only part of us. Let's campaign for ourselves and say, you know what? We're going to push out more positive, not corny things, but positive, impactful, amazing things.
Wait,
right.
hold
on. What I said though?
What she just said?
Hold on, bro. Remember when I was saying we can choose what we want, what we watch, right? We can choose what we listen to. I don't like Tyler Perry movies because I hate the images that he puts out of black men and these broken down black women. So I don't watch his shit. You know what I'm saying? Like flat out, I'm not going to support it. So when we say, oh, we need the change, be the change. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. But we can't demonize. Hold on, but we can't demonize the creator. You know what I'm saying?
Where does that come from when Megan Thee Stallion is on the national stage?
Oh my God!
I said be on the offense. That's what I'm saying. We don't gotta demonize them.
Here's the thing.